New Zealand First has introduced a members' bill to change the rules around fluoride in the water. If it's plucked from the ballot and if it were to pass, the bill would repeal the 2021 law that gave the Director-General of Health the power to determine if water supplies should be fluoridated. Now, local water authorities would also be forced to hold a binding referendum on the issue. Winston Peters is the leader of the New Zealand First, and he's with me this afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Great to have you on. So obviously there's not a lot of support around from your cabinet colleagues for making a change to this issue. You've been forced to go down the members' bill route.
Well, the reality is that this was the state of affairs for decades until 2021, when the people's right to choose in a local referendum was removed. And then they became the victims of an autocratic decision, which costs millions for the councils, and at a threat of $200 fine and $10 for every day that this existed, 10,000 every day since that it would be in place. So it's $200,000 fine and then a $10 fine every day that the council didn't comply with a dictate from the Director General of Health as a result of the 21 legislation. And we're saying, give people back the democracy that they enjoyed all those decades. Let them decide. They're the ones who have right to have a regard to what they want, not some bunch of overinflated bureaucrats in Wellington.
Whangarei's been told, because they're obviously the ones who are kicking up the biggest fuss, you'd have to say, and the Director General's saying, we're going to go to force you through the High Court, actually. So they've got till March 28th. Now, look, it's unlikely. I mean, it is possible, but it's highly unlikely this bill's going to be anywhere significant by then. So what?
Well, depends. If you are persuasive and your colleagues take a similar line of responsibility, we could have the bill through Parliament by that time, and it would not be necessary for the ratepayers of Whangarei or Tauranga, for example, or any other council, having to waste all this money.
Well, not so much my colleagues, but yours, Minister. Nicola Willis just said on the news here at News Talk ZB, I want my kids to have fluoride in their water, and I want that for every other kid too. We're not touching the law.
Well, that was not the National Party's position for all those decades, and I'm talking about in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, all the way through to 2021, when an authoritative Labour Party by itself made this decision. So we're just wanting to go back to where it was, and we'll trust the people.
Well, fair enough. Any comment to make on David Seymour in the House today and the driving up the steps yesterday?
No. Have you heard the Latin phrase "res ipsa loquitur"?
No, I haven't actually. What does that mean?
It means the thing speaks for itself.
Have you heard from Prime Minister Mark Brown yet?
No, because he's in Beijing at the moment.
Do you expect to hear from him? So, I mean, have you had any communication that you might be hearing from him?
Well, again, this is a matter of awaiting developments. I don't know when that will be, but we will expect to hear from him in due course. But that's not what I expect in the next couple of days.
So he still hasn't even said if he's going to talk to us yet?
Oh, no, he said he's going to talk to us, and he said he's going to talk to the Cook Island people, but not before the event, after it.
Mr. Peters, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Deputy Prime Minister and New Zealand First Party Leader Winston Peters.
For more from Heather Duplessis Allen Drive, listen live to News Talk ZB from 4 p.m. weekdays or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.